Welcome back for another top-notch video. This week, guys, we'll talk about the week of 26th July through 30th of July. As always, the top-notch channel is about the Thrift Savings Plan, the TSP. We talk about the C, S, I, and F funds. If you're in Roth IRA or brokerage accounts, we talk about IVV, VXF, EFA, and AGG. We kind of do a general overview, a technical analysis, and then we show you guys where the top-notch channel is allocated. If you're interested in this, please like, subscribe, or share. If you guys know anything about the PCS process, we are currently moving from Hawaii to Fargo, North Dakota, so please bear with us in these upcoming months. We only might get a monthly video out instead of the weekly videos out. I expect our weekly videos to resume somewhere around October, but until then, please bear with us as we are moving from an island back to the mainland. Thank you so much, and let's dig right into the video. As always, we start off with the Thrift Savings Plan, the TSP Talk website. What happened for the week? As you can see, we're going to show you the week and the month since we've been a little bit behind this month. So for the week and the month, guys, that S Fund Bonds AGG was up for not only the month but also for the week, and it led for the week. And Bonds was doing pretty good overall for all our stock funds. C Fund was down for the week. That's IVV, and it was up for the month. S Fund was flat for the week, and it was down, surprisingly, for the month. And then the I Fund was up just a little bit for the week, and it was up just a tiny bit for the month. That's all of our funds. Now we'll go into our analysis. So the first one we're going to look at is IVV. What are we seeing with IVV, guys? As you can see, we've had these trend lines drawn in for a very long time. We had a little bit of a dip in July, but it bounced right back up, and we are right in the middle of our trend lines here. Very healthy chart. We'll have to see where that goes from here for our chart, or IVV, or the C Fund S&P 500. On a technical analysis, long-term charts, we look at two indicators, kind of give you a red, yellow, and green light of where you should be at with these funds. This is the long-term funds. What are we seeing for IVV? As you can see here, guys, our two indicators we like to look at is the derivative oscillator and the price percentage oscillator. Derivative oscillator is basically these green and red bars. Basically, when we have basically when price goes from the green bars to the red bars, price, which is up here, tends to go down. When we go from red to green, price tends to go up. That's usually what we see with price minus a few things. No indicators exactly 100%, but we look at that indicator, and then we also look at price percentage oscillator, which is this blue line here. And when it's above the red line, which is the moving average, price tends to go up. When it drops below the red line, price tends to go down. This is price again up here. So those are the two indicators we like to look at with all of our charts. And then based off what we see within our indicators, we give you pretty much an analysis of where we should be on these charts. So let's dig right into IVV, or the S&P 500 fund. As you can see here on the long-term chart, we're having a lot of indecision in here, guys. Last week was a lot of indecision. This final week was an up week. But our price percentage oscillator is so close to that line, we can't make a very good decision here. Our derivative oscillator is moving up, but it is kind of, we'll have to wait to see where that's going. I would give this kind of a cautionary light, a yellow light for charts to be involved in the S&P 500 until we can see more of a direction for this fund. Let's see it on a short-term basis. What are we seeing here? As you can see, last week we just about crossed with that price percentage oscillator, and we are moving down, and our derivative oscillator is also moving down. We are now at negative 1.8 for that oscillator. That is a red chart for both our indicators here. Red signs, red sign, red light chart. We'll have to wait and see where this goes. As you can see, price up here, guys, is kind of hasn't really gone anywhere since the 26th. It's been pretty stagnant for a little while. We'll have to see see where things go from there. Let's move into our next chart. This is going to be VXF, or the small caps fund. This is going to be the S Fund. Again, we didn't have a very good week, and it was down for the month of July. As you can see here, we are down just a little bit for July. We are above our moving averages, but where our trend lines are drawn, we are still in the middle of that. Price is really I don't see that we have a very good option here. Ever since February, it's been down, up, down, up, down, up. Been very good if you've been able to trade these down ups for this fund. But overall, it's very indecisive if you are a buy and hold investor for this fund. You would have been kind of stagnant ever since around February time frame. So we need to see if this will break out eventually. One thing this chart really has going for it, as you see this blue trend line down here, it is slowly but surely sloping up, and eventually that'll get to the point where there's no more space in here, and price will either have to jump out or jump down. We're waiting to see what will happen with that. Let's look at it from a technical analysis. VXF, long-term charts. We use the exact same indicators. What are we seeing here, guys? Really not good things here. As you can see, our derivative oscillator is moving down. We were at negative 1.4 last week. Now we're at a negative 1.8. That's not a positive sign for VXF or the S fund. Our price percentage oscillator is moving down as well. We've been negative ever since March time frame. Haven't really moved or made much progress since that time period. As you can see here, here's price up here. We were sitting about 186 back here and March 19th, and we're just a little bit below that. We touched that this week, but still below that mark here, and that is almost 1, 2, 3, 4 months later. So we're going to have to see where this goes in the future. But right now, it doesn't look very positive. Not a good place to have money at this time, in my personal opinion. What are we seeing on the short-term charts for VXF or the S fund? This is in the next week or so. What are we looking at? Well, as you can see, the derivative oscillator is moving down here as well. That is not a positive sign. Price percentage oscillator is above that red line there, so that is good. That's a mixed bag chart, so we're going to give that a yellow light. Proceed with caution if you're going to stay in VXF for the short term. Just be careful. That's our chart for VXF. Let's move into the next chart, which is EFA. EFA is the iFund or international markets for those that are in the TSP. What are we seeing with EFA? We're seeing some down trend lines here for a little while. Ever since June, it did break out of that towards the back half of July, which was really good, but we don't know where that's going yet. Kind of a mixed bag chart as well. I'd like to see it get above this 50-day orange line here, this 50-day moving average, and stay above it in order to really get involved in this chart. Let's see it on the short and long-term basis. Technical analysis, weekly chart. What are we seeing? Ooh, we are seeing, that is a very positive sign here. We went from negative 5.16 to negative 4.78. That's a positive sign for the derivative oscillator. That is a very good sign. Here, price did react a little bit to that, so that is good. We're moving back up in this direction. Usually when price starts to head, or the oscillator starts to head in that direction, price heads that direction as well. Now what we'd like to see is this PPO line, the price percentage oscillator line, start to move back up as well for a green chart. I would give this a yellow light. Just proceed with caution. Just you don't want to jump in too early here. We'll look at it on the short-term basis, see if there's an end point for EFA. As you can see, not just yet. I would give this another week really before you get involved. Wait for this short-term chart to kind of bounce back before you get back involved in this chart. On the short-term basis, derivative oscillator is dropping. That's a negative red sign there. Price percentage oscillator is above. It's a green sign. So when we get a green and red that is yellow, proceed with caution on both the short-term chart and the long-term chart. Once we have a green light with the short-term chart, I think it would be a good buy to get involved in EFA in the near future. We'll have to see where that goes coming in these last coming months. We are getting close to fourth quarter now. Moving into AGG, what are we seeing with AGG? Wow, this chart, man, has really started to come back. Like I said, we really took that big hit at the big first at the in the beginning half of the year. Really dropped in February, and then ever since then we've been slowly building our way back with AGG. It did have a pretty good month for July. Things were going pretty well. Above that 200-day moving average now for July, very positive. If we could break this upper trend line here, that would be very positive, or just stay above the 200-day moving average until these shorter-term moving averages come back. That would be a very good sign for this chart. On a technical analysis, what are we seeing with AGG? Positive sign here, positive sign here. That is a good buy there. That is a green buy for AGG for this week, which would be good. But on the short-term basis, having mixed results there, so not really a good buy until we see that price percentage blue line cross the red line for our buy. We have not seen that just yet, so we're going to hold off maybe another week or so until we can get involved in AGG. That's all of our charts for this week, guys. We really appreciate you watching and paying attention to the Top Notch channel. As always, where are we at? Located on the Top Notch channel for right now. We are currently kind of sitting in G, kind of wanted to wait out the month to see what would happen. If we look at this month, our S fund, which is kind of our go-to, did have a negative month, so that was good to kind of wait it out. We should have probably got involved probably in that C fund, so we didn't really see that so much, but we instead of gaining 2%, we were just kind of at 0% for the month of July. Going forward, we're going to pick up a position for sure. So far, the F fund looks the strongest, just waiting a little bit more into next week to see if we get involved in that. And that's pretty much it, guys. Again, we are in the middle of a PCS, or post-change station, for what they call it in the military. If you're in the civilian side of things, it's where we get to move from one place to another. So I just don't have my studio set up just yet where we're going. I think we'll be fully set up by October, but until then I'm going to try to do a monthly video at the end of the month for each month. If you have any questions, please write those down below. That's another top-notch video. We'll see you guys next time.